Hello everyone, welcome back to my mathematics channel. For today's lesson, I would like to share with you what is tax relief and tax exemption. And also I will explain to you what is PCB and which one is better, joint tax assessment or individual tax assessment. Let's get started with the class. Have fun! For today's lesson, we will focus on what is the difference between tax relief and tax rebate. So let's go to the example. Mr. Chan had a total annual income of 52,770 in the year 2020. He donated Rm 300 to government-approved charity organization. The table below shows the tax reliefs claimed by Mr. Chan. So for tax relief, let's say tax relief and the amount. For individual, 9,000. Life insurance and EPF limited to 7,000. So if less than 7,000, let's say 5,800, it still can be consider tax relief. Medical insurance limited to 3,000, so 1,700 still below 3,000, and self-education fees is limited to 7,000, and the amount is 7,000 for Mr. Chan. So calculate the income tax. Calculate the income tax payable by Mr. Chan for the particular year by taking into account the tax rebates if eligible. So let's see, Mr. Chan's income 52,770, and all these are the tax relief. So calculate the income tax payable. Income tax payable. Alright, solution is for chargeable income is the total annual income minus tax exemption minus relief. So 52,770 minus 300 and minus out all the tax relief. So in order to minus out all the tax relief, we will prefer to add on, we will plus all the tax relief and we will minus out one shot like this. It's actually easier for us to plus than minus, right? So the chargeable income is 31,970. So Mr. Chan's chargeable income is 31,970, lies in the range of chargeable income as below. We need to refer to the table. So if you refer to the table, you will see that Mr. Chan's chargeable income lies between 20,000 and 1 ringgit to 35,000. So on the first 20,000, the tax is 150, and the next 15,000 is rebate 3%, right? Example, 3% of 15,000 is 450. So let's see, Mr. Chan had a total annual income just now as we mentioned. So let's see, his actually chargeable income is 31,970. So we are going to calculate the tax that Mr. Chan need to pay. So according to the table, Okay, let's see the table. For the first 20,000, okay, Mr. Chan need to pay 150. So the first 20,000, the tax 150. For the next balance, so we need to take chargeable income for Mr. Chan. After we take the total annual income minus our tax exemption minus our tax relief, the chargeable income will be used to calculate the tax that need to pay by Mr. Chan. So the next balance will be 31,970 minus out the first 20,000 times to the 3%. So the next balance tax will be 359.10. So the eligible rebate for Mr. Chan is 400. Why? Because rebate of 400 due to chargeable income less than 35,000. If chargeable income less than 35,000, he is eligible for rebate 400. So income tax payable is 150 plus 359.10 minus out 400. So the income tax payable by Mr. Chan is 109 ringgit and 10 cents. Alright, so that's how we calculate the income tax. Okay, now what is monthly tax deduction? Normally we call as PCB. In bahasa is potongan cukai bulanan. PCB is a short form for potongan cukai bulanan. Okay, so PCB. So actually the PCB will be shown on the payslip monthly payslip, right? So monthly tax deduction we call as potongan cukai bulanan atau PCB is actually salary deduction of an employee for income tax payment of current year. The deduction amount is based on the table of monthly tax deduction, or PCB is computational calculation method provided by Inland Revenue Board. Okay, so let's have a look. Tax payers should make comparison between total amount of PCB deducted and tax payable as shown below. Alright, let's have a closer look for this condition. Tax payable more than PCB will be tax minus PCB equal to insufficient tax payment. Insufficient tax payment must be made to IRB. Okay, so another one is tax payable less than PCB. PCB minus tax will have the excess of deduction. Excess of deduction of PCB will be refunded by IRB to taxpayers' bank account. So this is because of the tax payable is less than PCB. So let's see this example. Mr. Lim salary was 74,000 in 2020. Okay, Mr. Lim's salary. He claimed the following tax reliefs. Individual. Okay, let's see. Individual for 9,000. Okay, that's individual. Life insurance and EPF for 7,000. This is individual. Medical insurance for 1,325 and medical treatment expenses for his mother for 1,000 4,250. He has also donated 1,000 to an must be approved welfare center. Okay, so when we do donation, make sure we donate to the approved center. His salary was deducted monthly by 180 ringgit for monthly tax deduction or PCB. Calculate the income tax payable for that year. Does Mr. Lee need to pay any more income tax after monthly deductions? Explain your answer. So let's focus on this example. So let's see. Alright, okay, now chargeable income first. The first thing is we need to find out the chargeable income, then we can refer to the table, right? So chargeable income will be total income minus tax exemption minus tax relief. So we will consider the amount of the total income for Mr. Lim's is 74,000. So 74,000 minus the 1,000 which is actually tax exemption. Okay, this is tax exemption, and then the tax relief 9,000, 7,000 and 1,350 we need to add on. Alright, so that means all this we need to plus the 1,250. Alright, so after we take the total income minus the tax exemption minus the tax relief, the chargeable income is 54,425. So Mr. Lim's chargeable income is 54,425. It lies in the range of chargeable income as below. So let's refer to the table. So 54,000 lies between 50,000 ringgit to 70,000. So for the first 50,000, the tax charge is 1,800. This is for first 50,000. And then the next balance, that means we need to take the chargeable income minus 50,000 times the rate according to the table, which is 14%. So the tax on the next balance is 619 ringgit 50 cent. So eligible rebate, there is no rebate for Mr. Lim. Rebate of 0 ringgit due to chargeable income is more than 35,000, right? Because chargeable income for Mr. Lim is 54,425, which is actually more than 35,000. So the income tax payable will be 1,800 plus 619.5 and minus out 0 for the rebate. So total income tax payable by Mr. Lim should be 2,419.50 cents. However, Mr. Lim's salary was deducted by 150 per month, which is the tax deduction per month, or we call as PCB, of 180 ringgit per month. So total PCB for the whole year is 180 times 12, which is 2,160. So this amount is less than the tax payable. Tax payable is 2,419.5, and then the tax that deducted according to PCB is 2,160. so it's less than the tax payable. Okay, this is supposed to be tax payable. So because the tax payable is more than PCB, thus there is insufficient tax payment. So the insufficient tax payment will be 2419.5 minus 2160, which is 259.50 cents. So Mr. Lim need to pay 259 ringgit and 50 cents to IRB because the deducted PCB was insufficient for his income tax. Alright, so that is the tax payable more than the PCB. So let's see another example. Mr. Rajan and his wife received the annual income of 53,000, right? And 57,000 for wife. Okay, 53,000 is for Mr. Rajan, and then the wife is 57,000 respectively. In the year 2020, they each donated 500 ringgit. They donated 500 ringgit to the government approved welfare organization in that year. The following are the tax relief to be claimed by Mr. Rajan and his wife. So as you can see, we have Mr. Rajan, individual is 9,000, wife is 9,000 also. Lifestyle remitted is 2,500, still eligible, but this one is have to refer to 2,500, right? Because of the limitation there. Life insurance, this one still okay for Mr. Rajan. For the wife, okay, still within the limit. How about medical insurance? Medical insurance limited to 3,000. For Mr. Rajan, it's okay. For the wife, it's okay, still within the limit. So calculate the income tax of Mr. Rajan and his wife using joint tax assessment and separate tax assessment. So let's see how to do calculation for joint tax assessment and separate tax assessment, which is more suitable to be used by Mr. Rajan and his wife. Explain your answer. So what do you think? They should join together the tax assessment, or they should separate the tax assessment? Let's do calculation, then we can have a clearer picture which one is better for Mr. Rajan and wife. Okay, the table below shows the calculation of income tax of Mr. Rajan and his wife using the joint tax assessment and separate tax assessment. Okay, let's study the joint tax assessment first. Husband and wife, so they join together the income. 53,000 plus 57,000 be 110,000. Tax exemption donation is 1,000, and then individual is 9,000. Lifestyle is 2,500, and then for life insurance is 7,000. Medical insurance 3,000. Chargeable income is 87,500. For the base tax, is actually 4,600. This is the base tax. So tax on the next balance will be 87,500 minus 70,000 will be 17,500. So we need to refer to the table. Okay, so to do the calculation, we need to refer to the table. So it seems like for the first 70,000, this is the base tax is actually the first 70,000. Okay, this one chargeable income is 87,500, and then for the first 70,000 is 4,600. Then the balance will be the chargeable income minus 70,000, which is 17,500. So this one will follow the rate, right? Later we will go back to that. If they are doing the separate tax assessment, then we will see each of them have to do a separate tax calculation. So 9,000, 2,500. The tax relief is eligible to be claimed is 2,500 for the spending, which is more than 2,500. 2,700 is more than 2,500. So we have to go back to the limit 2,500. Okay, so then this one is the insurance 5830 and 6,000 to 650 to 570 for the wife, and the chargeable income for Mr. Rajan and for the wife are different. So the base tax for Rajan is 150, for his wife is 600. Okay, then for the balance we have to use 32,000 minus 20,000 will be 12,520, and for the wife is 36,430 minus out 35,000, which is 1430. So based on the balance, the tax will calculate based on the table, right? Refer to the rate on the table. So then we will do the calculation for that. Okay, so let's see the calculation for the balance. Okay. Okay, so this is the continuous calculation. So just now we have calculated the balance, which is 17,500 for joint tax assessment. So have to multiply by the 21% for the balance. So the tax will be 3675.00, and the rebate 0. Income tax payable, okay, so will be base tax plus the tax on the next balance, so minus out 0. So the income tax payable for both of them will be, using the joint tax assessment, will be 8,275. This is the amount. If let's say they are doing separate tax assessment, okay, let's see how. For Mr. Rajan, the balance, the base tax is 150, and then balance will be 35,000 chargeable income minus out the first 20,000, which is 12,520. So 12,520 times 3% will be 375 ringgit 60 cents. But because of the chargeable income less than 35,000, so Mr. Rajan is entitled for 400 rebate. So the income tax payable for Mr. Rajan is 150 for base tax, and then this is the tax on the next balance, minus out 400 for the rebate. So Mr. Rajan just need to pay 125.60. And then for his wife, okay, for his wife is chargeable income is 36,430, minus out the first 35,000, so is actually the balance is 1430 times the 8%, so it's 114.40. There is no rebate because her salary is more than 35,000, so the rebate is 0. So total tax will be 600 plus 114.40 minus out the rebate, which is 714.40. So meaning that separate tax assessment is more suitable to be used because income tax payable is far lower, which is 840 compared to ringgit Malaysia is 275 for the joint tax assessment, which is a huge difference between both of them who do separate tax assessment. So in joint tax assessment, the claimable tax relief is considered for calculation only once. Okay, the claimable tax relief is considered for calculation only once. So that means the joint tax assessment is actually not suitable if you really know how to do calculation. You will choose to do separate tax assessment for your maybe for the family. Okay, so that is how we managed to come up with a conclusion that a separate tax assessment is more suitable compared to joint tax assessment. That's all for today's sharing about the taxation. So I will share with you more video teaching on calculation part. Till then, have a beautiful day. Bye bye.